You think of great stars, you often think of the ones that have really made an impact in your life. There's no two ways about it. It's always the big films, isn't it? The big film stars. And for many people of a certain generation, you remember things like Picture Goer, don't you? The movie annuals, stuff like that. They were a big part of your Christmas box, as they say, because suddenly you had big pictures of the stars that you could put on your wall or indeed put on the back of your exercise book if you were going to school, you know, the sort of thing. Now, as many people know, I've said many times on the show, it's been strange when I've met a lot of the people that I grew up with, you know, whether it be pop stars or TV stars, and suddenly they're coming into your studio, having a chat with you, and you're trying to keep it cool, you know, because you think, wow, this is the person I spent my pocket money on. Of course, you can't tell them that because it makes them feel old, doesn't it? I know, happens to us all in the end. Now, a couple of big stars that I've been lucky enough to meet are none other than, of course, the beautiful Dame Joan Collins. But I always have a bit of a problem with Dame Joan because she's not that far removed, whatever she says, to the character that she played on Dynasty, Alexis Carrington Colby Dexter. You get the picture. The other thing with Joan is she always likes to sort of perpetuate this myth that she's been something of a struggling actress, you know, went to RADA, picked up these things, signed on for unemployment benefit, failing to mention, of course, she only signed on the one time and of course managed to get some publicity out of that, you know. As I say, I'm a big fan. I think she's a very clever lady and more importantly knows exactly how to make her mark on the screen. But she had a lot of help, even though she became a 20th Century Fox star by being only 21 and going all the way from the Rank Film Organisation over to 20th Century Fox and signed up by Darryl F. Zanuck. But you see, her background was totally different. And her father let a major star slip through his fingers. Yes, Joan Collins, you see, was a theatrical agent. And this is what Joan, at times, tends to play down. Yes, she talks about the fact that her house was filled with variety artists, soubrettes, singers, dancers, all of that sort of stuff. But this gave her and her equally talented sister, Jackie, the access to the showbiz world that they both so desired. Before Jackie became a celebrated writer, and I was lucky enough to meet her too, well, she also tried her hand at being an actress, but clearly preferred to be behind the scenes more. But you see, what Joan forgets to tell people is, and I find this fascinating, is a major star over here that literally became an icon, all thanks to the British monarchy, was none other than Dame Vera Lynn. Oh yes. Dame Vera Lynn, who brought us the wonderful songs We'll Meet Again and The White Cliffs of Dover, which meant so much to so many people during that terrible time. And we told you in a previous show she had the #1 rated request radio show called Sincerely Yours, which was broadcast for a time from BBC Broadcasting House. But cast your mind back long before, of course, she got famous, Dame Vera. Yes, because she auditioned for none other than Joe Collins. And apparently he didn't think she had the talent, the voice, or apparently the star power to take it forward. And so much so, this became something of a running joke between Jackie, Joan and her father. He always thought that he could spot the wonderful talent, you see, and he never let the greatest talent slip through his fingers. He was an agent to so many of the big stars of the day. Of course, Dame Vera, or simply Vera Lynn as she was at the time, proved everybody wrong to become an international star for so many decades and literally became a friend of the monarchy. More importantly for Joan Collins, she too became a good friend of the monarchy, becoming a dame a few years back now. But it's interesting, as I say, when you look at the stories that celebrities perpetuate about how difficult it was and when I was struggling, and all the time they have full accessibility to some of the best people in the business. Is it any wonder they became the icons that they truly, richly deserve to be? Neil Sean, Hyde Park, London.